This is the Cool Meanderings with Dr. Germ G podcast. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to Cool Meanderings with Dr. Germ G. I'm your host, Dr. Germ G. I'm up late on a early Thursday morning, May 8th, wondering whether or not the New York Knicks can finally win an NBA championship. I'm pondering this question because my eyes have deceived me twice in the past 72 hours. The New York Knicks have just completed the unthinkable. They've won the first two games in a best-of-7 series in the second round of the NBA playoffs against the defending NBA champion Boston Celtics. The Celtics are once again the team to beat. In the East, the Oklahoma City Thunder have the best record overall this year, but the Boston Celtics are pretty much the favorite to come out of the East again. And most pundits predicted that the Celtics would win the series in anywhere from 5 to 6 games. I think maybe one or two thought the series would go 7, but most picked it for a 5 or 6 game series. Well, the Knicks had other ideas. First, they came out and stunned the Celtics, winning game 1, coming back down at least 20 to win in overtime, 108 to 105. Jalen Brunson, the Villanova great, led the Knicks back and proved that he's once again Mr. Clutch. He's been the most clutch NBA player all year, and he proved that again in game 1. But the Knicks weren't done. The Knicks came out again in game 2 tonight, or last night I should say, and once again they were down by at least 20 points. And somehow they've not only found a way to come back, but they put on a defensive clinic. And they held the Boston Celtics to 89 points. At one point, the Celtics were up 73 to 53. And from that point, the Knicks went on. They went on a unbelievable. They outscored the Boston Celtics 38. My God, they outscored them 38 to 16. It's just unthinkable in Boston. So now the Knicks are up 2 games to none with 2 in the Garden. That's Madison Square Garden. And I think the legitimate question is whether or not the Knicks can finally get over the hump. If they win 2 of the next 5 games, they win the series. And they're in the Eastern Conference playoffs, likely against the Indiana Pacers, who are also up 2 games to none in their series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had the best record in the Eastern Conference this year, but never quite proved itself as the team to beat in the conference because Boston, I think, won the season series. And I think Cleveland is good on paper, but Boston has been the better team on the court. But over the last few days, the Knicks have shown that they may potentially be the best NBA team in the Eastern Conference. So I have to legitimately ask myself whether or not this team has what it takes. I mean, they have a go-to scorer. They definitely have at least one go-to scorer. I mean, they have a clear number 1 in Jalen Brunson. But I would argue that they have a legit 2 in Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is a legit big man who can beat you outside, mid-range. Definitely is strong in the post. And then you have a number of wonderful complementary players. Josh Hart, another Villanova product. Mikal Bridges, excellent player, also a Villanova product. And then you have OG Anunoby, who the Knicks traded for last year with Toronto. I would say that he's been a boost for the Knicks on defense, but also making key shots. He can find his shot when he needs to. And then this other guard, McBride. McBride has made some huge threes coming off the bench for the Knicks. And I think it's been crucial to have the extra big man inside. I think having the extra help inside against the smaller Celtics, I think has been helpful. So I love what I'm seeing with the Knicks. I do. I think Mitchell Robinson has provided some extra help in the paint. And they played 8 guys tonight, and that was all they needed. That's amazing. They played 8 guys, and basically just outworked, out-hustled, outscored the Boston Celtics on their own home court twice. So, yeah, I think it's a legitimate question. And the thing is, tonight, the Knicks they got the scoring for game 2. They got a pretty well-rounded set of contributions. They got 21 and 17 from Karl Anthony Towns. They only got 17 from Brunson tonight. He scored 17 points, had 7 assists. Josh Hart had 23 points, including 3 of 6 from three-point range. And then Mikal Bridges had a crucial 14, timely 14. But from Bridges was more important on defense. He had 3 steals, including the game winner at the end. And not to mention 5 assists. So overall, I thought the Knicks played a great game. And I think they're well positioned to, at the very least, make the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, if they get there, it looks like they're going to play the Indiana Pacers, who knocked them out of the second round last year. I think the Pacers probably still have they pretty much have the same roster as last year, and I can see that series going 7 as it did last year. But I like this Knicks squad. I think this Knicks squad they have a year of chemistry, and I think that matters. Although Indiana does as well. I mean, listen, if it's the Knicks and Pacers, it would go back to the days of, Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing, where they had those rivalries in the 90s. I think we're looking at that kind of a series if we get there. And if we do, I like the Knicks in 7. I think that this is the year that the Knicks may finally get back to the NBA Finals. I think they have just enough pieces to make clutch shots. I mean, if they can take Boston down 2 games in a row on their home court, I like their chances, man. Now Boston could easily come back and take at least 1 in New York. But if New York can split, the Knicks can split, then their chances of getting out of this series with the W are quite strong. If that happens, man, all bets are off, man. Eastern Conference Finals, anything can happen, man. Especially if Cleveland can't come back. If Cleveland makes a comeback, I'm not sure. Well, then the problem for Cleveland, the Cavaliers have several injuries, which is part of the reason why I think the Pacers are leading that series. In the case of the Knicks and Boston, I mean, I don't see any major injuries for either team. I think they're both well stacked. They both ran 8 guys tonight, but the Knicks just won. Oh, by the way, the Knicks won 91-90. I said 91-89, but they won 91-90. But they both ran 8 guys out there, and Knicks got it done. They got it done, man. Yeah, the Knicks, they outscored the Celtics 30-17 in the fourth quarter. Just impressive. And I don't think that really does. I don't think that does the comeback enough justice. I mean, they were down at least 73-53 in the second half. So to make that run was just fantastic. Yeah, man. But can they win the chip? I think it depends. I think it depends what happens in the Western Conference. If OKC, I mean they can't they dropped the first game, but they sent the message in game two. They beat the Nuggets in game two, 149 to 106. Ouch. So, if that message holds and the Thunder make it to the finals, yes, I could see a series akin to the last time the Knicks made it to the NBA Finals, and that would be in 1999 when they faced the San Antonio Spurs, when they had the Twin Towers at their prime, when Dave Robinson was at his peak and Tim Duncan was still getting used to the league. That series only went 5 games. Now, the Knicks were competitive in one of them, although the scores would suggest that the games were close, but when you watch the tape, you could see that the Knicks were never winning. They were always a step behind, with the exception of one game. And realistically, I think that's probably what would happen this year if the Thunder win this series and likely the next one. But hey, man, the Knicks get to the finals. That's awesome, man. I'll take it. The Knicks, as I said, the last time the New York Knicks were in the NBA Finals, I was still in college, man. Well, I had taken a break from college, but still, I was in my 20s. It's been a while. It's been a minute. And forget about the last time they won. I wasn't even born. They won their last championship in 1973. And quite honestly, I think the construction, this team in some ways parallels the teams of that era in terms of the way they play, how they score. You could definitely look at the roster of the current Knick roster and make some comparisons to those teams from the early 70s. Absolutely, you could totally do that. Obviously the game was played differently then, but this is nothing like. And shout out to Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, John Starks. I love those 90s teams. But everything centered around Ewing. And to the point where, other guys, like Starks, he was very streaky. Oakley gave you a jumper now and then. But the bulk of the scoring was all on Patrick Ewing. Whereas this team, yes, Brunson is their main scorer, but they have legit 2, 3, 4 options. I don't look at their squad and think, oh man, if Brunson doesn't score, they're done. No, they've got some legit players, man. Karl Anthony Towns is an all-star in his own right, and yeah, Josh Hart. If you get over 20 points from him, that's just gravy, because that's not his game. His game is more all around. Keep the ball moving, put pressure on the defense, assists, steals, that sort of thing. And the same goes for Bridges. But Bridges, I think he has a little bit better jump shot. But he seems to play very well off the ball. So I think these guys are well-rounded. I think they have a pretty good thing going. Yes, they have a number one in Brunson, absolutely, but he's not a number one like Ewing was. Those 90s teams, they lived and died with Patrick Ewing. Oh my God. No. This team, it feels more complete. They feel very close. Even against a juggernaut like OKC, this New York Knicks team, it feels like this championship window that they're in, it feels legit. It feels like they have a legit chance within the next 2 to 3 years to get a chip, to get a ring. I do. I feel like, because look, Boston had a great run last year. But Boston was on. I mean, I wouldn't define Boston as, so overpowering, so intimidating. I mean, they had just lost the previous year to an older Golden State Warriors team. To me, that's the team that has not only a mystique, but they can intimidate you, and that's because they have years and years of experience and skill to back it up. Whereas Boston, they made a great run, but if one or two plays go differently in that series against the Dallas Mavericks last year, maybe Dallas doesn't win the series, but it might go 7. It might have gone 7, but that's neither here nor there. This is about the Knicks taking 2 from the defending champs on their home court, now heading back for Game 3 on Saturday in the Big Apple. So this should be a fun weekend. You've got Game 3 on Saturday, and then Game 4 on Monday. So Saturday, May 10th, and then Game 4 on Monday, May 12th. I think the Garden's going to be rocking. I'm not expecting the Knicks to win both. If they come back to Boston Game 5 up 3-1, what else can you ask for? And you know what? They'll have 3 shots at winning the series. If the Celtics come back, win 3 straight, they're champion. They did what champions do. But I think the Knicks have put themselves in the best position possible. What else can you ask for? I don't think you can ask for more from the New York Knicks. They put themselves in the position to not only win, but to go into the conference finals with momentum because of the way they won. They went into Boston and took the game from Boston twice with big shots, but most importantly, defense. They're showing that they are a complete team. They can beat you putting the ball in the hole, but they can also beat you by shutting you down. So, I think the Knicks are, man. The Knicks are they're looking good. They're looking good. I mean, they held the Celtics to 36% field goal percentage as a team, only 25% from 3. The Celtics shot 43s. They made 10 of 40. Wow. Okay. Hey, man, you know what? We'll take that. The Knicks will take that. I say we because I grew up a Knicks fan. I'm still a Knicks fan even though I don't live in the New York area anymore. I still root for the Knicks. Still happy to see them win. But it'll be interesting. I like their chances. I do. I like their chances a lot. I think the Knicks. I don't know if they have enough to take Oklahoma City, but just generally, I think the Knicks are right there. I think this edition of the New York Knicks are right there. They've got all the pieces. Maybe if they can add one more player, if they can take out Cameron Payne and add somebody that can be even more dynamic, bring a little bit more dynamism to the roster, man, they would absolutely compete for a title. They really need one more shooter, in my opinion. I mean, ideally, someone that can shoot and play D, but they're right there, man. They're right there, and I don't know. It's just this team just feels different. They're showing us things that I haven't seen from a Knicks team, and I can't remember the last time a New York Knicks team went into Boston with all those championship banners in the playoffs. It took 2 from them after being down 20 points in both games. Wow. I mean, you'd think that might do something to Boston psychologically. I mean, we'll see. We're about to find out what the heart of a champion is. I mean, they just won the chip, Boston, so have to imagine that Game 3 will be quite difficult for the Knicks. But if they can pull off Game 3, oh my God. Wow. I don't think the Celtics will come back and win 4 in a row. I don't think so. So if the Knicks can take Game 3 somehow, just like Game 2, it doesn't matter if you win by 1 point or 10 points, 20 points, just win the thing. Just win it. If they do that, well, then we are really talking about a team that is a franchise, really, that is building momentum for the future, and to be a competitive franchise in the Eastern Conference for, I would say, the foreseeable future. I think the team that they have together now, they probably can run them, with some interchangeable parts for the next 3 to 5 seasons. At the very least 3. You got to give this edition of the Knicks 3 more seasons after this one to get the chip, and then see where we are maybe by 2029. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm obviously there are other things going on in the world and in my own life, but I wanted to just share my thoughts on the Knicks before I get some rest. Got a lot of things percolating, and more will be coming from me soon. I am striving to be more on task with less procrastination, less vacillation, and more productivity. So, cheers to that. Cheers to you, Knicks fans out there. Congratulations. Your Knicks, our Knicks, took 2 in a row in Boston. They're looking great. Let's see what happens in Game 3 on Saturday night. All right. Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you are a first-time listener, you can find this podcast on several platforms, including Amazon Music, Spotify, TuneIn. You can obviously go to coolmeanderings.com and see all of my episodes. And if you go to YouTube, you can also stream my podcast episodes. If you go to Dr. Germ G and subscribe to my channel, you'll get regular updates on videos as they're posted. Thanks so much, and have a great one. This is the Cool Meanderings podcast with Dr. Germ G.